Here we are, and thank you everyone for being here with us tonight. Special edition Thursday night, 7 p.m. It is it's exciting to bring on live talk with Becky Chernek and Stephen Gordon. So I think we have an echo in the background there. I'm not sure exactly what's happening there,
It might be
Stephen.
on my end.
So you might want to turn some of that stuff off. What's going on there? Maybe.
Yeah.
So you might want to turn some of that stuff off. What's going on there? Maybe.
Yeah.
We did try to check out the technology. So is that turned off?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Try to check out the technology.
I can hear you.
Here's what I want you to do, Stephen. Do us all a favor while we're on live. Go ahead, get back out of the studio and
Look
come
out of the
back.
whole thing.
Just come out. Yep. So this is what happens. It's called technology, and stuff just happens while you're, live. Anyway, guys, while Stephen is coming back, hopefully figuring things out, good to see you. Glad you're here. And for those that are new to my channel, I've been providing the very best in finance and insurance training. I work with dealers all over the country, in Canada as well. And the whole idea about what I do and why I do what I do, I get everyone working on the same page. And that's how we drive performance. And if we're not working, getting all the managers on the same page, it can get pretty ugly, right? So I think I've got Stephen back in the studio. I'm going to go ahead and bring him back on. Come on, guys, let's do this. Stephen, welcome back. Can you hear us?
I can hear you fine. Thank you.
No echo. Yay.
No echo.
Perfect. Okay. So now that I went ahead, shared with everyone who I am, what I do, they want to know who you are, what are you doing, and what's that background and your experience all about. So let's go there. Let's do that.
Okay. Well, my name is Steve Gordon, and I'm the executive director at way.com. I run the finance and partnership division. So what Way is an app. Well, before I get into that, so how I got to Way, I owned an insurance binder company for car dealers to provide insurance for their customers when they didn't have insurance. Way heard about that and they acquired me a couple of years back. So that's why I do what I do for Way. Prior to that, I was president of Freeway Insurance, the thing you're speeding on, for a number of years. Prior to that, I was with Southwest Dealer Services, president of their insurance company. I started out in the car business when I got out of all my education, went to work for Acura as a finance manager and became a director and worked my way up and through that, where I partnered with Steve Alderson at Southwest. So I took a sharp right-hand turn and went into dealer insurance. I grew up in Southern California. I'm a Southern California kid. And that all brought me to way.com. And Way is by far the best thing I've ever gotten involved in. It's an application for people that own a car that are looking for savings on expenses to operate a car, whether it's through parking, car wash, insurance, refinancing, gas, EV charging, roadside service. So we are an advocate for people to save money on car expenses. And we're doing pretty well with it. We've got 5-6 million subscribers every month, transactional, doing something with us. And as we've expanded out from being just a securing a parking spot company 5 years ago, we are now the predominant insurance broker in the country in 50 states, writing insurance in all 50 states. It's about 400 agents that work for us scattered across the country in 7 locations from the East Coast to the West Coast and through the Midwest. And we are expanding with new developments all the time. And our most recent one is refinancing for customers to bring their interest rate down on their loan.
Whoa, wait a second. Wait a minute. We are like just dumping lots of information into like minutes here. And I just wanted I want to, I want it like in pieces here, right? And so way.com is amazing, and all the convenient services and subscriptions that it offers to customers nationwide. But your background enough though, Stephen, is pretty phenomenal. I mean, you have been not only in that automotive retail space, but you've held some pretty high level positions in insurance space as well. And I got to tell you, I think you're well respected in the industry for that. So I don't want to just kind of just slide by those years, because I think that those are really important times in your career and experience. So you head up some big insurance companies, yes?
I was involved with some pretty nice opportunities in my life. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, right. So you've seen a lot as far as the industry goes and some of the changes that are taking place over the past 5 years. And even in what's happening with COVID, when COVID hit. I mean, just the technology and what we're able to do has, oh my gosh, I mean, just the significance and change in technology over the past 3 years is amazing.
Yeah, there's no question. I joke quite a bit. If our parents could see an iPhone now, my parents passed away years ago, they would be blown away at what we can do just with an iPhone. So who would have ever thought I'd have a nice kind of robust career based on what you can see on a telephone and how you can get savings and find every bit of information you ever needed, or talk to somebody on the other side of the world on this phone. When I was in undergrad school, there were no computers. When I went to school, Google was referred to as the library. And my computer was a cross pen. I hand wrote everything. Computers didn't exist. So I'm not computer savvy now, ever, or ever will be. It's just my age, and it's my period of time that I grew up.
Sure.
And I still do something, what do they call it? Reading a book. That's the word I was looking for, antiquated thing. I still read paper. Now I'm on a Kindle.
Oh, wow.
I'm crazy with my Kindle. That's about as computer advanced as I can get. So when I came to Way a couple of years ago, they were worried that I was so computer lax savvy that I wasn't going to survive. And I've kind of figured out what I need to know to do my job. Certainly emails. But how I've become the resident Excel expert is beyond me, because I'm not, but I kind of like it. I can sort of figure it out, but I don't know the first thing about it. And every partnership I get involved in, plenty of them, this term API comes up. I don't have a clue what an API is. I don't know what it stands for, but we have about 65 to 80 people, 15,000 miles in another country that do, and they're brilliant and they're geniuses. So as long as they're there, we're in pretty good shape. But I'm not a computer person at all. But this is a fintech, insurtech company, and we are very technical savvy. I am not. So I guess that's good and bad, but no.
I think you bring the concept, right? An understanding of the concept. You can have the best technology in the world, but if you don't know how to go ahead and bring in the concept or make it stick, I don't know the value of that. And I think that you do that. I think that you bring the stick to the game. And, such as meeting with me and having the conversations that we've had over the last couple of weeks. And I can't thank you enough, Stephen, for being there and taking the time for me to understand what way.com does and the services that it offers. I want to do a special call out, if you don't mind. We have lots of people on right now that are saying hello, and I want to make sure that you know that they're saying hi to us. And we got Bill. He's here. Bill Pistano. I know Steve when he was writing. Bill. He is amazing. Good people. Love Bill. Good. He's good-hearted. Janie, there she is, looking for an action. Stephen, telling you,
did
she's
you say
right
Cher?
there.
I heard
Cher is there.
Cher?
Look at that hair.
I get confused all the time.
I love it. good
Jenny
people
runs
there.
our whole digital marketing, everything to do with getting our name out. Jenny handles all that.
Well, Jenny, I said that, Jenny.
He looks like Cher. I tell her that all the time.
Well, she does. She looks great. I wish I looked like her. And then we have Bill back in Hands of Women. He's toast. Oh, you're toast. Oh boy, are you in trouble. And then there's Dennis. Dennis is a really, he is an F&I, corporate F&I director who really is very involved in so many different ways of making and helping dealers to make an impact. And he's incredible. Thanks, Dennis. I'm glad that you're here, and you're hearing some new ways to achieve even bigger and better results. And then we have Carol. Carol, thank you with Automato. She's here with us tonight, and thank you, or today. Thank you, whatever time zone you're in. And then my buddy Christine Farnan is here. Christine, I'm so glad you're here. Hopefully you have some questions for our buddy here, Stephen. And then we have Louise. Steve, glad to see you provide useful information based on your impressive years of knowledge and historical information. You are so well respected, always trusted, and being a leader in the industry. See, I didn't make this stuff up. It's real.
It's nice to see that. And it's Louise Linden. Oh, that's my sister.
Oh, go figure. We even got her sister coming on. Wish my sister would. Hey, Marie, where are you when I need you? Oh, Becky, you did really great the other night. I just love what you do. So is she in the business as well?
No, just a rich old woman from the East Coast. She's very sweet. Actually, we all take pride in her. She's a nurse. And all growing up, anything was wrong with us, no matter where she was in the world, call Louise. Louise, check out this blood test. Louise, this hurts. This. She was my older sister, still is older sister growing up. I have two older sisters, love them both, Debbie and Louise. Louise is slightly older than the other one. And all the three of us are the closest friends. We talk every day. We know what all three of us are doing within 10 minutes of what we're doing 24/7, 365. So I'm blessed to have two incredible sisters that I call my best friends, and they are. And Louise is the real estate baron of the East Coast. So if you're renting a place, probably writing her a check every month. So good for you, Louise.
Louise,
my sister
nice
Debbie.
Meeting you.
Debbie is a finance director and a damn good one. She's in the Bart Rome. Debbie's in the F&I space for an RV dealer. Very talented.
Oh, okay. Very talented. Okay. Well, she's not here just yet.
No.
Sorry.
And Bart I've known forever. We worked in a store together. A few of them, I think. I think we worked together at Freeway. So Bart's a great guy. Very talented salesman. And actually a movie writer, too, if I recall. He wrote
I want to use you, Bart, for some scripts that I'm writing. And then we've got Marty. Hello, Steve.
Marty
You're
Walsh.
An F&I beast in this biz.
Delaware. He's a service contract reinsurance king. My dear friend, Marty Walsh. Yeah. Dear friend. I love him to death.
He seems like it. And Marty, it's a pleasure. Glad you're here with us. And
Lori's birthday is the same as mine. His wife's birthday is the same as mine.
See, and that's something to love. That's something to celebrate, right?
I adore Marty, very much so.
I mean, anybody who has the same birthday as you. I mean, come
Marty,
on.
you can keep my Sandy Koufax ball I gave you 100 years ago.
See, this is why he likes you, loves you.
Might have something to do with it.
Thanks for having me. You're welcome, Dennis. I'm glad you're here because you're going to hear some really cool stuff. And then we've got Bill. Hello, everyone. Pastano. I am so glad you're here, Bill. And we are going to have some conversations from our last live. And we're going to talk about these refis and who can do them, who can't. And you know what? Why it doesn't matter. Because you know what? We have Becky Chernek and we have you, Steve and Gordon, and way.com. So we have Bill Pastano. And then, of course, Bill, Bill, you can certainly still always offer dealers the training, as it pertains to how to really look at refi, right? Because I think a lot of dealers have gotten maybe complacent when it comes to, or they never, there's been some issues, maybe drawbacks from doing some refi. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Mike Thompson. Hello, all. He works with a big organization, really good, big company. So maybe
That's
you
not
might
Mike Thompson RV, is it, Mike?
No, he's Thompson. He's with Greenway Automotive Group. Big
Chain
automotive
of
group.
RV dealers out here in California, Mike Thompson RV.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to take away for the fact that you're not a dealer there, Mike, but so I think it's important, with, Mike, and understanding, hey, where are we? What are we doing with some of these subscription services? So let's really kind of talk through that if we can. What is, here's what fascinates me, and I can't believe there are certain things that I don't know. I mean, Stephen, I just don't know. I don't know that. Oh, by the way, good to see you, Steve. You've got another one.
CEO of our company,
Bino. Oh, there we go. All right.
The man who signs my check.
Nice to meet you.
Wonderful man.
See, everyone is watching you, Stephen. Even the men and ladies that are like,
yeah, how complimented I am.
I'm sorry.
It's a great family here at Way. I'm not just saying it because they're watching. I've been involved in some big opportunities and some small ones in my life, and I have to tell you, the people that say, "Oh, thank God it's Friday," kind of irritate me because they don't want to work. I love coming to work, and those people that know me know it's true. And I'll even pop in on the weekends, whatever. I love coming here. This is at 62 years old. I have found my power alley, and I'm nuts about this company and the things we're doing and the heart that we've got to save customers money and what we're trying to do and what we're achieving, and the heartbeat of the company, the things people don't get to hear that I get to hear every day, especially coming from Dino and Nagapan about it. We care about our customers. If it's not beneficial to the customers, let's not do it. And, it might cost us a little bit more money here and there, but it always ends up, if the customer wins, we win. And I'm not just saying it because I'm trying to be flowery. It's the truth. And I've never loved an environment more in my life than here at Way.com. Truth.
So that, and I also have to say, someone else is here who, you two need to meet up one of these days if you don't know who he is, because this guy is very special. Stephen Apicella. So as our guest industry delivers more than the one-time transaction, there are customers that will embrace their dealers beyond just buying their vehicle. We earn our customers through every touch point before, during, and after the sale. There you are. There's Stephen Apicella for you. He is a terrific individual, very important person in my life, and a dear friend. Luis, Becky, impressive interview. Thanks for acknowledging the audience. Well, I have to, and I think it's so important that we're interactive and that we're, we are addressing some of the questions and concerns, or some of the positives that are going on in automotive industry and elsewhere, for that consumer experience. And one of the things that I found very fascinating, I'll get back to the Way.com, and I will tell you, Bill introduced me to Way.com. He's like, you got to check this out. So I do, and I'm like, and here's Stephen Apicella, this one over here. I talked to him last night, and I'm like, did you know that there are companies that actually offer servicing where they can arrange parking for people across the country? And he goes, sure, I do it all the time. I'm like, I had no idea. That is such a cool thing. So this is something that your company, Way.com, offers subscription services for people who are traveling. They can find a parking spot no matter what part of Manhattan, downtown Manhattan, wherever that they're at. How does that work?
Well, it's interesting. I was in Hawaii back in April or somewhere around there. And I was driving a rental car. Carol and I were driving to find this restaurant. We're on a cruise, and we're trying to find this restaurant. And I had no idea where to go. And I pulled up the parking Where am I going to park? I went to, of course, Way. I'm not kidding. There was a spot right in front of the restaurant. I didn't need to use it because they had free parking right where I was going, but I was a customer. I was just blown away by it. And here I advocate for it all the time, but I never need it because, I know kind of where I'm going all the time. It works. It definitely works. So it's interesting. So if let's say you get off the plane and you're in Chicago and you got to find a parking spot. You got your phone. Go to way.com, put in where you want to go, and it will tell you all the spots in that area and the prices on them. And if you decide you want one, you can book it and pay for it, reserve it right on your phone. So when you pull in, it's done, paid for, and you leave there with a better value. So Bina, who's on the show with us, how he started this 5 or 6 years ago, he had got a parking spot up in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. And he paid crazy money for the spot, $50, $60. He pulled out and he sees a spot across the way for $5. And he thought, why did I just pay $50 when I wonder if I could develop something? Well, he did. So we acquired all these parking spots, unused spots at a discount, and sold them off at a very minimal margin. And that put him on the map. So our mapping service tells you the best available parking in any area, and you can pay for it right through our app, which is great because how many times do you pull in or out of a parking garage in the booth where the person sits? I affectionately call it a Dory booth because I knew this girl that worked at a car wash 100 years ago named Dory. She worked in a booth. So I call that the Dory booth. When you pull into the Dory booth and they're like gross and mean and grisly and not friendly, you don't have to deal with them. It's bought and paid for right on your phone. And it's always at a better prevailing price, favored nations for you. So Way does a remarkable job mapping that out. And it also does it for car washes. So to go one step farther, you can go to a car wash, operate the car wash on your phone and pay for it. You don't have to roll the window down, touch a COVID infected keypad and put your card in and out and pull the thing. Click, click, click. Gate opens up, pull through.
Wow.
So the technology behind this, I have no idea how any of this works. I can't sharpen a pencil, but our people are brilliant.
Maybe they like you like that.
They better, because it's not changing. And it's just more remarkable what these men and ladies have thought of. And I'm impressed by it. So we took that environment and thought, well, what's the next thing? Very true.
Well, I got to say, Louise says, I can attest to that. Steve and I and our spouses vacation together and use way.com. Steve has made me stop at many of the places while on vacation to promote such a wonderful company. Hello, talking truth here.
That's true. So, a couple of years ago, they thought, well, we're saving people we're advocates for these two spaces. Why don't we get into auto insurance? So this October, 2 years ago, not one person had anything to do with insurance in this company. We knew nothing about it. Nagapan, who was our chief product officer and a brilliant, brilliant man, said, let's get into that. And that's how they acquired me. They wanted to get in the dealer insurance space.
Okay.
So they hired some very talented insurance specialists from different corners of the country. Ezra and Alex and Jonathan and these guys all came in from different expertise in different companies. And we created an insurance agency here that's so centric to consumers, with the bad driver, the middle driver, the good driver, and scattered across the country. And we have about 140 insurance carriers available to us to represent to a consumer, where most brokers might have 3 or 4. We got 140. So if we can't give you the best prices because you don't deserve the best price.
I think I'm going to tap into that too.
We've got the best available because we have so many opportunities out there. So our application on our phone beat out Geico for the #1 spot for an app for insurance last year. So we really excelled in that market. And then let's go to the next thing. Well,
what is that?
How to get discounts on gas. I think our current deal is, speaking out of turn, 30 cents a gallon off, something like that. EV charging, big discounts in that. We're big in that market. And then now the refinancing and roadside service. We compete with the Auto Club every day. Our app, you can be rescued in your car on the app, all digital. You don't have to call anybody and say, I'm stranded. The yelling back and forth, where are you at? How much longer are you going to be? Pull up your phone. You see the tow truck driving to you. You see the Uber or Lyft coming to pick you up, all on your phone. So that's our Way Plus subscription program, and it's going gangbusters. We poached a guy from the Auto Club who developed all that to come with us, Adam Hart, genius, smart guy. So we've got some pretty smart people here. We've got some very good customer-centric, customer-facing products that are beneficial to society. So that's why I'm so.
So how do you? And I'm going to get into the refi in a bit, because I think that is definitely a big story. But I want to talk to you a bit about these subscription services, and more OEMs, if you will. And I'm not asking you to go into any particular OEM, this or that, but I did have a conversation last night with Nick from Subprime Magazine, Zolovich, and we were talking through some of this OEM app stuff and where that whole thing is going. And there's a lot to be said about it, because these apps connecting to the app allows customers to take advantage of some of these other conveniences, such as heated seats, other benefits. And where do you see that marketplace going?
We power a lot of those.
Do you?
Yeah, in disguise. We power a lot of subscription-based programs. We are the provider for a lot of their products, our product, because it takes a lot of infrastructure to do what we do. And a lot of these manufacturers and virtual dealers are great at doing what they do, but they don't have the wherewithal, and rightfully so, to take on all that technology to deliver what we do. So we are the marionette people behind those products through Way. So when you see a lot of those, you're really seeing Way. So I might be giving away some secret sauce.
Oh, hope not. But yeah. So do you see that as something that is really going to, and the reason I'm asking this question is dealers' ears need to be peaking, at least paying attention as to what's going on in the industry. And is that, something where that customer is going to be more inclined to take advantage of some of the other conveniences?
Yeah, absolutely. If consumers got afraid of us car dealers, rightfully so. Back in the 80s when we pulled some of the shenanigans that we pulled, scared customers away.
No, just kidding.
Oh, I did. I did. But there are lots of people now that just want to sit at home and order a car. I don't think the car dealer is ever going to go away. And I had a relative who passed away. In fact, Louise's late husband, who passed away, said, the internet's going to put car dealers out of the business. No, they're not. Car dealers are going to be around forever. But you have to look at how you treat the customer differently. The dealers are enjoying a real luxury right now of, so few product and high gross margins. And that's great. It's an anomaly. But when the tide turns the other way and there's a glut of cars, you're really fighting for that customer base. And I think the days of yelling, there's an up on the lot, are far and few between. To get a customer to come on the lot, you have to do some very innovative things. And you have to compete with lots more than just the guy that's got a single point franchise down the road who's got something similar that you're selling. So you have to gravitate towards digital sales and how you're going to get a consumer into a car a different way. Maybe refinance one of the other cars in the household to bring the monthly budget down, to reallocate funds. I'm sort of making this up, but if you go to get a car and it's $500 a month and you're only budgeted for $350, how am I going to save that other $150? Well, someone sharp, the dealer might say, you get another car loan. Well, why don't we refinance that car for you, bring that monthly expense down $150 a month, and now the new car doesn't cost you anything. So if you think like that, it might help. Who knows? It could help. Can't hurt.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot to be said. I had a show last week with Bill Pastano, and I got to say he hit it hard. And there were so many of our car people from, my groups in Facebook and even some in LinkedIn, frankly, that were freaking out. And it got me thinking, okay, there are some dealers who say, I cannot do refis. It's not, and I know your services is consumer driven. So let's say that. But dealers, on the other hand, have been sort of kind of have their hands, um, they're they're sort of like locked in what they can do as far as refi goes, and some dealers can do other things that other dealers can't do.
Creativity.
Other dealers have state tax that they have to deal with. Others, maybe 5 states that don't. And handcuffs. I was
Because
saying,
they're a
I was
dealer.
meaning to say handcuffs. I
Because
don't
they're
know.
a dealer, they may have to deal with sales tax. But if they source it to somebody like you or me,
Right.
they don't have to deal with it because we're not selling a car. So when someone does a refinance through us, I'm not selling them an automobile. I'm just reinvigorating their loan. So I'm not collecting sales tax. So if a dealer had a struggle with their local municipality or their state where they have to deal with tax to do a refi, don't do it. Send it to me. We'll take care of it. We'll send the customer. I'm not taking your customer. I don't want your customer. I just want their loan. So if that helps you sell another car, well, God bless it. It all worked out okay, or going through you. So if you have some hangups with tax, you don't need to worry about it. We'll take care of that. We don't have to deal with sales tax, and that's a luxury of not being a car dealer. There are many luxuries of being a car dealer, don't get me wrong, but I don't have some of the confines that the DMV imposes or the State Board of Equalization imposes on car dealers. I don't have to deal with that.
Right. And so there are dealers who are like, man, I hear what you're saying, but I hate to have to give up that mm, potential to send my business elsewhere. But I think at the idea behind it, if you can't do it in store, or if it becomes a hindrance in to putting that together and there's many dealers across the country who are having, they can't seem to wrap their heads around how to do it right.
Send them to
Um,
you.
exactly. So that's what I was saying. So,
Send them to your platform, and then we know where it could potentially go from there, and you can do the refinance for them.
well,
They now can sell
it's
another car.
more or less like a concierge type
Exactly.
situation where they know their customer is being treated correctly and in a more confidential way. And obviously, they know that I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to take care of the client. I'm taking care of the dealership and making sure that, and I know with Way, it's very confidential. That being said, but here really trying to streamline that transaction between the consumer um, and also helping to make sure that we do the refi in the right way. And that's really what like what you were talking about makes so much sense. And Bill was talking about the same thing, is that a dealer needs to look at a refi perhaps different than maybe what they looked at it in the past.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Don't be fearful of it. Embrace it.
Well, I
Because you
think
can
that's
lower their budget so they can allocate those funds to that new car.
amen.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
the whole purpose behind it. You're
That's
not
right.
killing a sale, you're getting a sale. You're not refinancing the car they're thinking about trading in. You're refinancing the husband's car, or the wife's car, or the housekeeper's car, or the kid's car, or something, freeing up money to get another car. Absolutely.
William, you are right. Consumers are smarter and have little time for games. Steve has taught me how to direct and get what we need as buyers.
Thank you, Louise.
And then Bill says, loves Becky. It's illegal to buy and sell back to customers everywhere. Well, I did a little bit more digging. And anyway, I'm not going to go into this deep dive tonight on this whole thing. I'd be very much interested in getting back together with you, Bill, on that. But for dealers that want to have, a better understanding of how that whole thing works with refi, your responsibility, your due diligence, because there is responsibility here. So it is important that you understand what that is. I never want to put a dealer at risk at all. the beauty of being able to be that concierge between the consumer and obviously the lender resource is that we keep it and we streamline it and we keep it confidential. So I think that there is something to be said about that. And we make sure that we're doing due diligence, perfecting titles. And also I think
titles. Yeah, that's a big concern, perfecting titles. And that's another reason to maybe outsource it to a company like mine through you, is that title means everything. If you don't get that title right, the whole deal will unravel. And I've got to pay back banks for their car, blah, blah, blah. It's a pain. So we've hired the best industry standard to do our title perfection. Now I could do it in-house and I could hire people to do it and train them. Why? I've got a company that is the premier title perfection company that does it for a lot of the OEMs and for a lot of the auto auctions. In fact, they come from that space, and I pay a little bit more, but the quality's there and that title is perfected. And when I get a new lender on board with us, that's the first question is, how are you going to get the title perfected? Well, as soon as I tell them who we're using, okay, I don't have to worry about that. So that's a big part of this business. What we do in the refinance is a massive undertaking. It doesn't seem like it is. There's a customer, a car, a loan, and done.
I know.
All the hands and fingers and the cogs that go into that wheel, it's a lot, an awful lot. But we love it. We just love it because it's such a great, there's no downside. Those that know me know I'm pretty liberal minded. I want every horse in the race to win. I do. And every horse races wins when they do a refinance. The new lender is happy because they got a new loan on the books. The old lender, they maybe aren't so happy, but they've got enough interest on that deal so that they're good. The customer is thrilled. And I know I get almost a little teary-eyed. This sounds silly for me to say this, but I do. That customer that we could save $100, $150 a month on their budget could be the difference between whether those kids can play sports or not, or eat or not, or have insurance, or have cable. I mean, we're in a very tough economy. So if we could save someone $100, $150 a month for doing nothing different than what they're doing now, it makes me feel great. And that is very sensitive to me, that if we can save people just a little bit of money, make their life a little more breathable, and the kids now maybe can get something better for school, or have a little more food, or be able to play a little league or something. Sounds silly, but it's not. It's very real. So I feel very good about that. So I do believe every horse in the race wins. I'm just very happy with what we're doing.
Well, nice I don't think, I'm not here to talk about way.com. So much in that, don't get me wrong, but I do think that we as dealers, dealer centric, need to realize what's going on in the background. I think that there's so much noise going on and dealers maybe or maybe not paying attention. I know maybe some of their people aren't paying attention as to what's going on in the background and what options are available. And I will tell you that doing my due diligence, there are other companies out there that are providing this option for consumers. And it's out there, it's available. And dealers need to understand that if they don't do something, if they don't have this tool available to their managers and utilizing me or whoever, I'm hoping obviously utilize, my services in that regard. It's just that one less tool that they have that maybe Carvana or CarMax or AutoNation or all these other big entities, they get it. They know how to do it. They have figured this bad boy out. And they're like, we're not going to, if I can tell you, Steve, after all these years in the car business, how many people, and Bill and I had a conversation about his experience at a Acura dealership that he was at. No, I was. But how many times have we let a customer $100 away from payment leave the dealership? I was always the one that would say, you're $100 away. You don't have anything. What are we talking about here? But in the scheme of things, did you look at the other car? Are they financing another vehicle? Is there, co-maker here that, you know what, we're trying to budget a car deal. We're trying to budget this new car. So it is so important. If that dealer doesn't have the tools available to them to help in that customer to budget that payment, they lose out. Next deal, next dealer understands it, takes advantage of it.
Not everybody's going to be a laydown.
Yep.
You don't see that anymore, and maybe for good reason. But
Yeah.
profit isn't a dirty word. Dealers need to make money. I certainly get that more than anybody.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't know if one deal doesn't make the dealership. The end of the month, I worked for a wonderful dealer named Les Kaplan, the general manager, God rest his soul, who taught me at the end of the month, you're looking for the 100th car, not the 100th dollar. Just go for volume. Sell what you can. It all will average out. But if you think every deal, I got to make so much, at the end of the month, you missed out on the 100th car and that didn't get you the whatever and whatever. Bad way to run a dealership.
Well, I will tell you
that
this.
100th car. Looking for that. Not looking for the 100th dollar, for the 100th car.
Okay, so let's say what Bill has to say. Steve could come up with a dealer program, have a link through DealerTrack, and send an approval over.
It's funny, I'm actually in talks with DealerTrack right now on how we can expand our lender network. We've got great lenders, the best, hard ones to get, the best of the best. But not all lenders allow paper to be submitted to them through individualized platforms. You have to go through DealerTrack or Route 1. So that opened my eyes to that. So I actually have conversations going with DealerTrack now on how we can expand that. So Bill is right. Keep an eye open for that. Something may very nice come out of that suggestion.
Well, just that could be, and like for other platform providers that I work with and know, they certainly have the capability of being able to take push application over to other lenders and credit unions that otherwise may not be on DealerTrack or Route 1 too. So there's the other option. But really.
Get you involved. Have them connect with you.
Well, I already have a couple of that going on right now, but there's some, just like there's technology is, we're still working on some technology and that sort of stuff, but that is definitely there. It's getting closer to being able to do that. But there are some things that we have to take in consideration when you go from you can go from lender to lender, but when you go from dealer retail to lender on a refi, things get there's some things that you have to consider. And
we're here to support you and the dealer, and whatever you need us to do, Becky, and whatever dealers need us to do, we're pretty good at this, and we'll make sure that we make it streamlined for those that want to take advantage of what we're doing. I don't want to take anything away from anybody. We're all in this together, and there's enough money for everyone to make money. So,
well, I just want dealers to know what is available for a refi and what isn't. And I want to try to answer some of their concerns when it comes to a refi, because there's Paul Nicholas right there. Hey, Paul, good to see you. Glad you're here. So he knows. And that's something that Paul Nicholas is putting together to get in front of those customers and being able to offer that refi option. And Bill, it would be a good algorithm source coding. Well, I think Paul Nicholas is definitely with Automotive trying to figure all that out as we speak. So there's a lot of things happening, just like, I guess 3 years ago, when we got hit with COVID, March 2020, I can't get over how fast that technology has changed in just that 3-year time period. What's it going to be like in 2 more years from now? It is amazing.
It's just to think how technology in the last 20 years has far exceeded the last 2 million years.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I went
Really?
around 2 million. Well, yeah, exactly. Stone Age.
No, but really, if you consider from the start of mankind through fire and wheel and all those kinds of things, what's happened in the last 10 years? Unbelievable. I would have never thought the things that we do every day and take advantage of.
Just like that dial phone right here, right? That dial phone, my hotline. That's my hotline phone. That's where dealers call me. Becky, come on in. Okay, I gotcha. Versus, that's right.
If you watch the cartoon The Jetsons, now you think you're watching an old show about antiques, because all those things they did, we've been doing now for years. Somebody handicapped that, right?
Yeah. Well, that used to be one of my favorite shows, The Jetsons. And I'm thinking, I don't know if we're too far off of that. You think we have flying cars soon? We certainly will have some electric cars soon.
We'll certainly have self-driving.
Tesla, is definitely
my granddaughter, who is love of my life, 7. By the time she drives, there won't be a steering wheel in her car. Absolutely not. Self-driving cars are as real as
self-driving cars.
Don't you think, Becky? Don't you think
you're talking to someone who that has a hard time putting the cruise control on? Am I?
Do you think I know how to do it? I can't buckle a seatbelt half the time.
I can buckle my seat, but I have a hard time with this. It's just like cruise control. Leave me alone with that cruise control. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the feel of the car.
I think cars they're going to be around for a long time.
Let alone have a car drive for me. Are you kidding?
There will be big industry changes when self-driving gets here. Billboards will be a thing of the past, because all the advertising will be right in your car. Body shops will be gone because these cars won't hit each other. Henry Ford realized people didn't want faster cars; they wanted faster horses, and that's how it really developed into automobiles. And now, with all the industries that are tied to the sale of a car, and most automobiles suck all the industries into one, whether it's textile or tires and whatever, metal. When self-driving cars come out, body shops will go away. Parking lots may be a thing of the past. For a lot of them will be, because cars will drop you off at work and then they'll go drive Uber or Lyft. Or in the middle of the night, they'll open your garage door and go to the dealership for a software update. Even if they have to go get a software update, it can be done in your garage. We'll see a big paradigm shift in the services, and how insurance is rated for automobiles will change, because it'll be on hours driven or miles driven, not for, it will change. The driver won't be as important, it'll be the car. A lot of stuff will be interesting to see in the next 10, 15 years. And
I don't know where I'm going to be in 15 years from now. I don't know, but I got to tell you,
you'll be 50. What are you worried about? You'll only be 50.
Yeah, I know, but still.
Yeah, tough crowd. Testing 1, 2, 3. This thing on?
Yeah, I wish. But, hey, I don't know. Never say never. That's the thing, never say never as far as technology. And I just I'm a tech kind of, I like it. I like and not just some of the gadgets are kind of cool and stuff. I like that. But what I really like about technology is that it helps to be more efficient in what I do and how I do it and how I engage and how I am with my customers. And that's what I like, and really helping customers to get through that process sooner rather than later. That F&I bottleneck to, reduce that whole friction of, buying a car. Be more upfront, be more transparent, enjoy that overall customer experience, as they decide that they want to shop, buy a vehicle. And we want to make sure too that it's affordable in ways that maybe they didn't consider additional product offerings, value-added products, and that sort of stuff. So that's how I see it. Have
you heard of F&I as the 4th hour product? I just heard that recently. and it certainly made sense. So when someone's buying a car, they agree to do it. They're down to those last few hours. That fourth hour is finance. And then that end of the fourth hour, off they go. And it was presented to me interesting. If you could take that fourth hour, unplug it, and maybe put it in that first or second hour, customers would embrace it more, because in that fourth hour, I just want to get out of here. And even though the finance guy's opportunity or gal is to present all their products, the customer's done. They're so annoyed and negotiated coming out their ears. Move that fourth hour to this first or second hour, come out and talk to the customer up front and saying,
God.
There's some opportunities to get these products. Let's talk about them now. And as we construct your payment, let's put those in there at this moment. I think you'd have better success. I think it would take the wear and tear away from a customer. And I think you'd have better penetration on products that was introduced earlier and softer, instead of that last, get them in the box, get them out. And that salesman going, hurry, I got to deal. They're 6 deep in the rack. Come on. I've been there. Introduce it sooner.
Well, you know, it's funny that you say that, because Stephen, I was up against a few dealer advocates 3 years ago, and on Auto Dealer Live, and the whole thing was pretty much, I was talking about that I think salespeople could endorse F&I products, and that not only that, with training, they could actually probably sell them. And they thought, oh my God, Chernek, you are so absurd. That is just absolutely crazy. We cannot be training salespeople, would not train salespeople on these F&I products. Stop it now. That is the most absurd conversation thing that you could think of. And I'm like, well, let me ask you this. If you feel as we can't train salespeople, why are we hiring them to begin with? I mean,
yeah.
Right? And I have met some of the most talented industry folks. And Dennis was, I don't know if he's still on or not, Dennis Gingrich with the Neilio company. And he has changed the entire dealership around, in that he has trained the sales associates on these products. And that's exactly what they do. What they do is they break it up. They offer two products. They don't offer way too much, but maybe 1 or 2 products during that sales presentation, before and after pencil. And at the end of the day, it seems to be working. And then couple that with menu presentation, and we're not overwhelming the customer with a laundry list of F&I products and trying to get them to buy everything all on time. Because as you as well, Stephen, you and I both know that too much information coming at someone at one time is system overload. I can't take it all in.
Well, it's like taking a sip of water off a fire hose. But I do think the old days of teaching a salesman to be stupid isn't right. You know, the old way, all a salesman needs to know is, if I could, would you, and up to. Customers are too smart for that now, as they should be. Salesmen should be very well educated in all dimensions of the dealership, including parts and service, because they're selling a lifestyle to a consumer. They're not just selling metal, get them off the lot. You're convincing that customer to come to your facility to buy your product, which is the same as every other product in that product line. And your salesmen have to be well-versed in all aspects of the dealership. And I don't think it should be a transient business. I think it should be a well-educated business, and a little maybe harder to get into, and pay the people better. Yeah. Don't try to make the salesman make the least amount of money and the rest of it go to the top 10%. Share the wealth and have a good, these dealerships that have salesmen that work there for 30 years, God bless them. Those salesmen have worked great. They got loyal customers. It's those fast earn and turn dealerships that are only around for a short time. So I think enriching the salesman with better product knowledge, and give them a little more freedom and good training, and stop yelling at them. No one needs to yell. It would certainly.
I can tell you how many times I get yelled at. I'm like, what are we talking about here?
I can tell you, I was yelled at a lot in the car business, and I don't think I ever yelled at anybody, because my mother was a yeller. I don't like it.
Where's Louise at?
Around it. So I think we can treat customers, and we can treat employees. Treat your employees as well as you treat your customers, for crying out loud. You don't see that enough. I work for dealers. Employees have water. Wouldn't let the employees drink the bottles of water, but they'd give it to any customer that walked in. Well, fine. Your employees are there 10 hours a day. Take care of your employees.
Yeah.
I never understood that. So
No, I think it is important. You know, if you take care of your employees will take care of the customers, right? And
the house has to win. The house has to win, which means the employees.
the employees win. So one of the things in my training with F&I, you want to go ahead and make a higher performance, make sure you get salespeople to buy in to you.
Yeah.
You make sure you buy into them. You make sure that you have the relationship isn't, we have lender relationships, we have vendor relationships. The relationship is with the sales associate. Get on the floor, get involved, get engaged, let them know you care. That's what helped me to be as successful in F&I, is because salespeople realize, I care. I've been there. I've done it. I was a sales associate. I know what it felt like.
Customers won't buy from people they don't like.
You know that? And who are credible.
Price doesn't drive sales. Very small percentage of the time. You buy from someone you like.
Amen. That's right. You got to be credible in the eyes of so this is one of the things that you said that I absolutely 100% agree with. Not to say that I don't agree with a lot of what you said, but I definitely agree with this. When you say interview every customer, get out F&I, meet with a customer, find something out, commonality, find out something where, get to know that person, get to make sure that the deal is straight, make sure you know what you've got to work with. And here again, here's, amazing